Hello there, it's Jay here from Jay's Vintage Junk, and first of all, apologies for not making any videos in the last month or so. As a few of you might know, I do suffer from fatigue, and I've been having quite a bad way of it over the last over the last 6 weeks, 2 months really. My fatigue's been getting worse and worse and worse to the point where I just had to stop basically doing things for a while and see if I could recover a little bit. It's not, I can't say I'm back to the way I was or anything, because I'm not. I'm pretty weak at the moment, I will say. If I do anything, it takes me quite a long time to recover before I can do anything else. I had some fun a few days ago collecting something which will be showing at the end of this video, and it was quite a hectic day. We had to go, I went with my mate Andy from over at Vintage Electronics Repair, and we went and got this item, and then went and helped a friend of his, Mildred of Mildred's Ashtray fame, go and collect a jukebox, and I couldn't. The next day I went to return the van I'd hired. Basically did that, got in from that, and didn't get out of bed for about 2 days. I literally couldn't lift my arms after. I mean, when you see what I shifted, and if you can appreciate jukeboxes aren't light, you know, it did exert me quite a bit, and like I said, that took it out of me for a couple of days, so I am having to really take it easy at the moment. It was right, I mean, now this lockdown Mark II's started, it's kind of put a kibosh on some of my my outside work, the work that I do day to day anyway, so I might have some more time to concentrate on some more like YouTubey things, some of my vintage computer things. And basically, while I've been a bit laid up, you know what eBay's like. You sit there and you can't help yourself, can you? So I have bought a few things that I've been after for a while to play with. So I thought what we'd do in this video is have a look at them, because they're all of a theme. It's a computer which I've had an interest in for a long time. I had one back in the 90s, which unfortunately I never actually got fully working. It's one I got at a car boot for a tenner, and it had a bad floppy drive and a bad hard drive in it, and because it's not actually a PC, so to say, even though it runs MS-DOS, it's not exactly a PC. And it didn't use standard floppy drive or anything like that. I ended up, actually the original one I had, I ended up gutting and turning it into a portable SCSI box. I basically gutted the case, put a SCSI connector on the back of it, and put I think I had 4 or 5 80 megabyte SCSI hard drives in it. And I used it for data transfer between me and a friend, because he had a SCSI card in his computer, I had one in mine. It was a very easy way for us to transfer data between our computers. This is before CDs were really well, they were available, but they were incredibly expensive. We're talking, you know, mid 1990s. So anyway, yeah, the original one I had, basically I never actually got fully working. And then a fellow YouTuber a few years ago, Retro Gamer VX, actually gave me one of these systems, but it didn't have its monitor. And as again, like I said, it doesn't use a standard like MDA monitor, CJ monitor, or anything like that. It has its own unique, weird video standard that only works with that monitor. For this computer, so I think the first thing we'll do is have a quick look at that. I will just reposition you. I'll get this in position, and then you'll see exactly what we're talking about for these first things. Let's get you down here, and we've got, as you can see, a cardboard box. Now this is the great thing. What we've got here, this is the monitor for an Apricot. It's an Apricot XI, I think. It's, like I say, it's not a PC. It was Apricot was a British computing firm from the I think they started in the mid-60s, and the first computer they came out with, like, you know, a business computer, was just a rebranded. Can't remember what it was now. It was. I know it was marketed as the Cirrus. I think it was the Cirrus 1. I know I had one at one point. It's another one of them computers that I stupidly just took apart for the fun of it back in the 90s. I think I had two of them. But I remember they're basically just a rebadged something else. I think it's an American system. Anyway, after that, they decided to go again, and they basically built their own system. It's actually very much based on the Cirrus architecture, and it was the Apricot X. I think it's the XI, if I'm remembering correctly. Mine's buried far up into the attic, and I did try and get mine working with a VJ monitor some time ago, and I couldn't get it to do anything. And I've been looking out for an original Apricot monitor to go with it, you know, really since then. And everyone that's come up, this Apricot stuff has started to get a bit more collectible. I mean, you used to be able to pick it up for peanuts. It started to get a bit collectible now. And every time I've tried to get a monitor, even just, you know, untested scrap monitors, either the postage has been ridiculous and, you know, the price has been okay, but when you added the postage onto it, it was more than I was prepared to pay. Or if they were local and stuff, they've just gone for more money than I was prepared to pay. And I spotted this one on eBay. This apparently is new old stock. It's never been used. Now, I don't know whether that's the case or not. Obviously, as you can see, I've not opened it. We're going to open it now and have a quick squiz at it. I mean, we're not going to try and power it up or anything in this video. I just want to open the box and see what state it's in, and then, you know, in some time when I can actually get my full Apricot XI system out, we'll actually have a go and see if we can get this to work. We'll get the old knife out. I don't want to actually cut into the box if I can help it, because this is the original Apricot box. Would have been nice if the seller had actually shipped it in something rather than just shipping it like this in the original box, but I'm sure they don't think that us collectors, you know, are really interested in a ancient box from 1983. Let's have a look, see what we've got. Ooh, it does look pretty factory in there. Oh, no yellowing on it at all. Let's pull it out and we can have a quick look. I think they are 9-inch these. Put that in there. And it does indeed appear to be brand new. Can you see that on there? Yep, that is a nice little Apricot. I think they're like 9-inch. Just have one one brightness control on the top there. So I did have one of these monitors with that original Apricot that I had back in the 90s, but it just, you know, I think I tipped it, I think I binned it, to be fair. When I couldn't get the computer to really work, like I said, I just used the case for a project. I do still have the original keyboard off that, so I do have two Apricot XI keyboards. Because the keyboard's quite unusual as well, as in it's got its own little screen built into the keyboard, and which can work as a calculator. You can do calculations on it, and then input them into your programs actually running in the computer. It's like I said, Apricot stuff was interesting. It wasn't run-of-the-mill IBM PC clone stuff. It was something a bit unique. But yeah, that's excellent. And that's actually, it actually has a anti-glare filter on the screen there, and it's actually just a piece of nylon stretched over the CRT. Apparently I've been told whatever you do with these screens, don't try and clean the screen with screen cleaning foam, because basically it gets this mesh all gunged up, and the only thing you can do then is dismantle the entire monitor, take the mesh out and wash it in like clean water, and then re-stretch it and rebuild it all. So if you do ever get one of these and it's filthy dirty, whatever you do, don't be tempted just to get your spray foam and spray it all over the screen, because you will damage this anti-glare filter. But I'm pleased with that. Like I said, it is, as they said, it is new old stock. Whether it works or not, we don't know. We can't even just plug it into the mains and see if it powers on, because it actually gets its power through the video lead there. Like I said, it gets its power from the computer straight through the video lead. So I'm super pleased to get that. Like I say, it won't be being shown anytime soon, but we will be getting the whole Apricot XI out now. Now I've actually got a monitor to try it with properly. I'm pretty sure there are faults with that computer. I think the power supply is not brilliant in it. But again, another part that I did keep off that original one that I had all those years ago is I do still have the power supply from it. Now it's probably in the same state as the power supply in the one that I've got, but at least we've got two. We can rebuild one of them and get one of them fully working. So I'm, like I said, super pleased to get that. I thought it was an absolute steal. It only cost me, it was £13 I bid, I won the monitor for, with about £12 postage on it. So we're talking about 25 quid all in. And some of the listings I were looking at, they were asking that postage on these things. So really pleased to get that. I'm going to put it away back in its box, and this I think is going to go up into the attic until I can get some time to actually do something proper with it. We'll get it back in its... I'm not sure whether it's a return or a new... Also, I would expect it to have come with a manual or something, but then again, maybe that was in with the in the box with the. Hang on, let's try and figure out how this goes back in. Don't be a dozy sod. You know what? I'll put it back in after the video. Ooh, let's put that down. Get that out of the way. I'll figure out how to put that back in the... Oh, hang on. As I was saying, it did come with a little manual. There we go. Or at least something. Apricot. Unpacking instructions. There we go. That's the computer if you've never actually seen one. Alright. We'll put that back in the box, but it's even nice to have that. So it does look it definitely is new old stock. Let's get on to the next thing. And this is also something for the Apricot, which I picked up on a complete whim. Again, this is untested. It was sold as is. But as I was fancying on getting my Apricot up and running, I thought I would take the opportunity to grab this. And what we've got in here are should really have some form of anti-static on. Let me see if I've got something I can just... I've got something metal I can touch. There we go. What we've got there is an Apricot, hopefully, I think it's an Apricot XI one, 512K RAM expansion board. So I believe the maximum the Apricot can have is like 720K or something, 700 and something K. I think the one that I've got has got 256K on board, which is like the base spec. You could get, I think you could either get them with as standards with 256K or 512K, and I think the maximum you could take them up to was 700 and something. So I think if I'm right, this is a 512K upgrade, but it's only got half the RAM fitted to it. So at the moment, it would take a 256K Apricot up to 512K. But it only cost me a tenner, so I wasn't too bothered. Like I said, even if it doesn't work, it's so simple. You've got some 74 series logic and you've got some RAM. That's it. If it doesn't work, it's fixable. There's nothing that can't be repaired on that. I don't think my Apricot's actually got a RAM expansion in it. If it does have, I may be able to use this in my Apricot Portable, because I also have a Apricot Portable, which is another very, very interesting computer from the same... It's from the same line as the Apricot XI, because again, it's not a PC. It's it runs MS-DOS, but it's not a true IBM 100% IBM compatible PC. It's a very weird, like, desktop portable. It's what you class in like the luggable kind of category. It comes in a case and you have to take it out. It's weird. It's from 1984, and it has like infrared keyboard, and it had an infrared mouse, and a really, really interesting feature from '84, which I won't talk about right now. But when we get onto it, we'll go into that. Like I said, there's a chance I may be... That's only got 256K in it at the moment. There's a chance I might be able to use this RAM expansion in that as well. So that's the reason I picked that up. Like I said, it was cheap, and I've got the chance I might be able to use it in one of my Apricots. Right, let's get on to something else Apricot-y. But this is 100% IBM compatible. Ooh, and it's bloody heavy. Again, like I said, as you can see, I haven't opened this. I've just cut my address label off it. Now, this is another system. It's basically the next system that Apricot produced after the Apricot, the XIs, and this was the first one that they actually produced that was a full IBM compatible computer. This isn't the original one. The original one, I believe, was a 286. I think, because I'm not 100% sure, this is a 386. These tend to go for, again, more than I really am prepared to pay for this old hardware. But this was on a buy it now. And I can't say it was mega cheap, but I can't say I think I paid, over the odds for it or anything. I think I paid quite a reasonable price for it. And I have to say that it looks like the seller has packed it very, very well. Well, we'll try and save the bubble wrap, but effort. So I think we'll use Mr. Stanley here and get through it that way. Right. Dear me. Yeah, he packed this nicely. I haven't left the guy feedback yet, so I was waiting until I'd actually unpacked it, but yeah. pluses on the packing. He's done a decent job there. Right. Now I know the computer is significantly smaller than this box, so again, I think he's used quite a lot of packing. Here. Oh boy, yes. Lots and lots of it. Right, look at it. Cut that down there. There we go. Oh, right, we're in. Can you see? Oh boy. And it's the nice biodegradable stuff, or otherwise known as stuff I can light my fire with. Right, let's get you out, and again, a lot more bubble wrap. Wow, God, he spent half the price on this thing, on the carriage and the bubble wrap, I think. Right, let's have a look now. That's one full turn, two full turns, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.5, let's say, yeah, 8.5 full turns of bubble wrap round that. So that was brilliant, and there we go. I really hope you guys can see this stuff, because I can't see the screen very well. But what we've got here is we have an Apricot Zen. So as I said, this was the computer they came out with. It does have a little crack on it there. That's a shame. Nothing that I couldn't actually fix though. Yeah, this is the computer that Apricot came out with after the XI, and as far as I'm aware, this is 100% IBM compatible. And so I don't think this is the first generation of the Zen, because I think the very first ones had a 5.25 inch drive in the front rather than a 3.5 inch. And I think the very first ones were 286s. Now you could get these as a disk-based system, just with the floppy drive, and I think like 1 meg of RAM or 640k or something like that. You could get them with the floppy and a hard drive, or you could get them basically without no floppy drive, no hard drive, and just a network card in them. These were there was lots and lots of these used in industry and schools and all sorts as network terminals. So like I said, they didn't have a hard drive or a floppy in them, and they literally just, I think they probably ran with Novell NetWare and just pulled everything off a main server. I only have very limited experience with the Apricot Zen. As in, back in the 90s when I used to mess about with a few computers, I used to do upgrades. This is back when I was at school. I used to do the odd upgrade for people and stuff like that. Someone did actually ask me to fit a sound card to one of these. I think, if I remember correctly, I think it was like a 386 SX20 or something like that. That I think the dad had got them for schoolwork. And the lad at school was much more interested in playing things like Commander Keen and the old Duke Nukems and stuff like that on it, and was getting a bit fed up with just having a PC speaker. And I think I put like a Sound Blaster clone, a cheap Sound Blaster clone in it for him. That is basically my only experience of these Apricot Zens. I've been after one for a while, and like I said, usually they sell for a bit more than I'm prepared to pay, or rather people ask. I don't often see them sell for them prices, but people seem to ask more than I'm prepared to pay for one. But like I said, for once, it was a reasonably sensible price that was asking on it. So I thought I'd have a go, and like I said, I now have one. So again, we'll be doing a video on this. We'll do its own video of us seeing if we can power it up and seeing if there's any goodies on the hard drive, or what work we're going to have to do to it. It was sold totally as is, not tried, not tested, doesn't know whether it works or anything. So like I said, that will be coming up in a future video as well. So do you want to see the other interesting bit of computerish hardware that I've got? I suppose, go on then. We'll have to relocate because it's a little bit too big to get in the living room. I've got it sat out in the garage, so we'll go and have a quick look at that. Okay, I'm going to have to apologise about the lighting, but we're basically in my rather untidy and cramped garage. But basically we have a computer here. This is what I've got, something a little bit unusual, something a little bit different for us to basically take apart. It is not, I'll say before we start, this is never going to be used for its original purpose ever again. It is obsolete. But basically what we've got here, let's get this cover off it. That is the control computer for a very late 1980s scanning electron microscope. And the cat has decided he wants to get in on the act as well. I picked this up on eBay, like you do, and I paid £1 for it. God knows what this machine cost new. I mean, what did a scanning electron microscope go for in 1988? £500,000, I don't know. But anyway, this is the control console. This is what you would have operated the scanning electron microscope from. And essentially, it's a computer. I'll just pull this out to show you, but inside here, I tell you what, I'll take you off the tripod and we'll get a little bit of a closer look. Right, let's go handheld for a second. But yeah, basically, as you can see, we have the keyboard. Various input controls. This would be for the focusing and the setting of the actual electron microscope. Some interesting parts in this which I've got absolutely no use for, but I'm sure other people may have. That's an indication of some very interesting parts in this. But essentially down there, in 4 boards, we've got like a custom computer that was built just to control this scanning electron microscope. Now, I haven't even figured out yet what CPU it uses. I've found what is basically this down here is the RAM and I/O board, and there's another one the same underneath. So we know we've got RAM and I/O there. I'm not sure what that board is, but underneath that board there's a board that says CPU, but I can't actually find a CPU on it. So this computer is never going to be used for its original purpose ever again, but I just thought it'd be so interesting to take apart and to find out what makes it tick. We've got 2 screens up here. I think they're both mono, but we've got a black and white screen there, and then we've got a green screen there. I believe how it would have worked originally is that the whatever you was displaying on the electron microscope would have been on this screen, and your computer control, all your readouts and everything were on this screen here. I have actually seen this computer powered up and working. where I saw pictures of it working when I actually bought it. Unfortunately, to be able to get this down my drive and into my garage, we actually had to remove the complete computer section from the rest of the thing. So this is actually disconnected at the moment from the monitors, from the power supply and everything like that. Now fortunately it is all ribbon cables and everything's marked, so there is a chance we can put it all back together and actually see if we can get this thing to fire up and actually see what the control system actually does on it. The keyboard, everything on this thing is absolutely top high quality. I mean, you know, we've got individual mechanical key switches on the keyboard. I mean, every control you feel is absolutely top quality. All the buttons, everything's just nice and clicky on it. And if you consider this thing's from 1988, and all the buttons still feel, they've just got that quality clicky feel to them. You know, we've got precision potentiometers. We've got so much stuff we can tear down off this thing and use in other projects. I mean, hopefully I can sell some of the parts that I'm not going to need to fund what it cost me. I mean, although this only cost me £1, it has ended up costing more because they end up having to hire a van to go and collect it, and fortunately I could split the hire of the van with someone else. But it's still, you know, I'm still down, what, around the 50 quid mark all in for this thing. So I'd like to be able to sell a few of the bits I don't want off it to recoup some of that. What my actual plans with it are is, I want to try and make it into some kind of, like, command console type thing. Possibly put a desk where the control panel is here at the moment. Make a slide out kind of desk, modify the bottom of it into a cupboard, but retain these screens, have a patch panel on there so I can patch computers into the screens I'm working on. I was having a modern LCD on the top and things like that. But yeah, that's what we're at. Like I said, I couldn't say no at £1. It was one of them, you know, when you see something like this, and it had a 99p start and there was no bids on it, so I just put a cheeky 99p bid on it, and yeah, that's what it came from. It's an S4000 scanning electron microscope, and it was made by Hitachi. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there for now. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed this little updated video. Like I said, I apologise for not making any videos recently, but like I said, with any luck, if I start feeling a little bit better, I'm hopefully going to be able to up my video output somewhat. Anyway, like I said, I'm going to leave it there for now. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.